of bright red light and a white plastic bag printed with the words NTUC Fair Price. Later, the oyster arrived in a human house, whereupon it was placed in a refrigerator. Whenever the refrigerator door opened, a light came on. By the yellow bulb, the oyster could see it was in the company of many other Chinese groceries, including bags of dried scallops and trumpet mushrooms rolled up, bound with red rubber bands, and stuffed into the side of the door. Thus, despite its travels, the oyster did not experience a significant amount of culture shock. From time to time, the heavy door opened and shut, but otherwise it was a period of great peace. The two people who opened the door most often were an older woman and a younger woman, a mother and a daughter. The mother opened the refrigerator and took out many items at once, sometimes returning them later artfully combined into a single dish. The daughter was in the habit of taking out chocolate bars and putting empty chocolate-smeared wrappers back into the refrigerator. Sometimes she returned afterwards and removed them. Usually, the mother beat her to it. Gradually, the oyster became attuned to their voices. It noticed that a conversation that began casually could go on until it sounded like a wire drawn tight. This pattern persisted on the day that the mother cut open the bag of oysters and shook out a handful before returning the rest to the refrigerator, from which location the oyster overheard the following conversation several hours later. The mother said the daughter was eating too little. Or didn't she like this food? The daughter replied that she loved everything the mother cooked, but especially this dish. The mother said she would give her some dried oysters to take back to the United States. The daughter said there was food in the U.S., and anyway, it was too much trouble. The mother insisted it was no trouble at all. By this point, both of them sounded quite unhappy. Meanwhile, the oyster was troubled because it couldn't follow the logic of the conversation. In fact, the conversation was illogical. No wonder the humans themselves were so confounded by their interactions, the oyster thought. They spoke as though they expected their words to mean something, but they acted as though they did not. This theory was confirmed as the mother took out the rest of the bag of dried oysters, poured them into a Ziploc bag, and held it up in front of her daughter, pointing out that it would be easy to fit into a suitcase. The daughter, who had not seemed to want the oysters previously, said they should double up the bags. The mother